The Cincinnati Reds had a strange year in 2024, showing signs of life while also failing to take that next step as an organization. However, with an established star in Ellie De La Cruz, more prospects on the way, and additions to the roster, the team is looking to finally turn the corner in the NL Central. And today we'll preview all of that and more in the Cincinnati Reds 2025 season preview. The Reds took a much different approach to the offseason compared to the previous teams in the series and went much heavier into trades. The most impactful of the bunch was the swap of Jonathan India and Joey Weimer in exchange for Brady Singer. Singer should bring some stability to the back end of the Reds' rotation, which is really starting to take form. Last season, Singer posted a 3.71 ERA across his 32 starts. His savant page would imply it can be a concerning move from Kansas City to the hitter-friendly Cincinnati, but there are some qualities that should transfer his on-the-field performance. He does well with walks and gets a lot of contact onto the ground, so that should keep his numbers stable. As for what they gave up, India is a bigger name of the two, and he is a solid player. Since his Rookie of the Year campaign, India has been dead league average with a 100 OPS and an average of 18 homers and 69 RBIs per 162 games. Even in 2024, his defense was much improved, but when considering the Reds' farm system, it felt like a move that needed to happen. The Reds organization as a whole has a logjam in the infield, and moving off a decent player and relieving that organizational stress in exchange for a good pitcher makes sense. It was the move for Gavin Lux that brings some question marks. In that trade, they gave away their third round pick Mike Sirota from 2024 as well as their competitive balance pick from 2025. It isn't what they gave away that's confusing though. It's that Lux and India are fairly similar players in that they are average production second basemen that the team will force into the DH spot. He is a left-hander, so it sets up a platoon with Christian Encarnacion-Strand, but it feels like they have the same situation as before, but with a slightly worse player and a solid pitcher. However, the trades weren't done there as they made additional trades for Jose Trevino from the Yankees to fix their backup catcher situation and Taylor Rogers from the Giants for the bullpen. The Reds did well in those respective trades, and their team will be better because of them. For additional signings, the Reds grabbed Scott Barlow and Austin Hayes, both on one-year deals. Based on their current weaknesses in the outfield, Hayes is currently projected to be the opening day starter in left field. Hayes is coming off his worst season since his rookie campaign, and a season where he posted a 699 OPS with just 5 homers and a -4 for the season. As for losses, the team lost Ty France, Ahmed Rosario, Jacob Junis, and Buck Farmer. Other losses, Farmer and Junis will be the biggest of the four, both of which put up very respectable seasons for the pitching staff last year, both of which are also regression candidates, so the Reds most likely did well not to reinvest, but only time will tell on that. That brings the current projected opening day roster projected to be Tyler Stevenson behind the dish, Spencer Steer at first, Matt McLean at second, Ellie De La Cruz at short, Jimmer Candelario platooning at third with Santiago Espinal, Austin Hayes in left, Friedel in center, with Fraley platooning with Fairchild in right, and Gavin Lux sharing the DH duties with Christian Encarnacion-Strand. That leaves Jose Trevino as the only remaining positional player. As you can see from the Zips projections, the middle infield is supposed to be really strong, but the outfield is not supposed to be great at all. The current rotation is set as Hunter Green at the top, with Brady Singer and Andrew Abbott in the middle, with Nick Martinez and Nick Lodolo at the back end. Hunter Green is projected to have a strong year, with Zips not liking Singer's profile. The unit is projected to bring the 12th most value of any unit in baseball and has room to punch upwards. Zips doesn't like the bullpen, however, as it is supposed to finish towards the bottom of the league at 27th. Players who can break past the projections, we have to look at former top prospect Nick Lodolo. Lodolo is yet to show the form from his minor league days, but there is still reason to believe he can be much better than his projected 4.25 ERA. Lodolo still has good stuff. Stuff Plus and his general movement profile are still very encouraging, and he did better with walks that plagued him during his rookie year. If Lodolo can put it all together, it can be a big year from the lefty. For impact prospects, we have the two top-of-the-line pitching prospects. The higher rated of the two by MLB.com is Chase Burns, whose stuff is just phenomenal, with 4+ pitches, including the 65 grade fastball and 70 grade slider, with good control. It'll give the right-hander the chance to cruise through the minor leagues and potentially see him late in the year. He has yet to pitch within the Red system, so it is unlikely, but he is just so good that there is a world where he cracks the roster in late September. And then there is the right-hander who already made his debut in the majors in Rhett Lauder. Lauder approaches the game in a much different way to Burns. Lauder is a control artist with good, but not elite stuff. Similar to Burns, he was drafted, didn't pitch his draft year, and used his first season of pro ball to soar through the minor leagues and crack the major league roster by the end of the year, where he was dominating MLB hitters across 6 starts. Zips doesn't have him making the opening day roster, but to think he won't be there soon is ludicrous. And then there's Chase Petty, who doesn't necessarily have the pedigree of the previous two, but don't let that fool you into thinking he can't spin it. As a 21-year-old, he was able to make it to the AAA level and has a really good fastball slider combo to stick in the majors. As he has developed, he has traded a bit of his velocity for control, and so far it has been a trade off worthwhile. In the wake of injury or poor performance, it is definitely a name to keep an eye on throughout the season. And then there are the hard maybe prospects, where if they light the world on fire, they can make it, but otherwise, it's unlikely. But in this case, it's Edwin Arroyo and Sal Stewart. And then there's a solid shout out that has to be made to Luis May, who dominated the Arizona Fall League and has one of the best fastballs in all of the minor leagues. Where it's going has always been the question mark, but if he can remotely figure that question out, you better expect to see him in that bullpen quickly. If the team is in a position to sell at the deadline, they have a number of expiring contracts that could yield some return at the deadline in Nick Martinez, Taylor Rogers, Wade Miley, Emilio Pagan, Austin Hayes, and Jose Trevino, with the end of season club options over Brent Suter and Scott Barlow. None of these players would shock the MLB if they were traded. With the players like Martinez and Rogers, they could sneak a good prospect away from the deal. For injuries, the team is facing two in Julian Aguilar and Brandon Williamson, who both had Tommy John surgery late in the year, and it will cause both of them to miss the entirety of 2025. That brings us to the final predictions for the team. At their floor, this team shouldn't be able to go backwards too far. The team did massively underperform last season on the surface level. If you take into account several top prospects virtually doing nothing, it should only be able to trend upward for the Reds in 2025, and for their floor, it'll be just 2 wins less than last season at 75 and 87. For their ceiling, the team could be really exciting. They have a ton of talent, and it's a matter of finding everyone's place in the field and getting the production. And if everything clicks, this team could be a fringe playoff team at 88 wins and 74 losses. And then there's the likely mixed bag, where some stuff goes great and some not so much. And with that, I have the Reds finishing above 500 at 83 wins and 79 losses. Where do you have the Reds finishing the season at? Comment down below. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.